Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog, welcome back to the car, welcome back to another sunny day in Cornwall. It is the summer, it is a heat wave, it is incredibly hot outside, like unbelievably hot outside. The car is the only place that we have air conditioning because the houses certainly do not. They don't even have much in the way of insulation, so what happens is the houses get hot during the day, the roofs get hot, and then the roofs radiate heat down into the house. Oh, that's a weird line of cars over there. We're going to have to wait into the house at night. So you get a hot night and a hot day, and everyone's just like, I'm too hot. And the rest of the world is like, well, why don't you just get air conditioning? And the answer is, because it's only usually hot for like 2 weeks of the year. And then it goes tepid, and then it gets really cold for 2 weeks of the year, and then it goes back to being tepid again. We are used to rain. Britain is an island of rain. What it is not is this. So this is the second heat wave, and I'm just like, I need to go somewhere where it's cool, so I'll jump in the car, which is nice because I also need to get some bread, because the heat has also done some weird things in the kitchen, and the bread that I normally make myself has gone a little bit moldy for the first time in forever. I have not seen that, and I'm just like, how? I'm going to say heat wave. It's probably just the heat wave. So, good. We're out foraging for food again, and since we're foraging for food, I'll get some food, the car will get some food, and everyone will be happy. But I know what you're thinking to yourself. Oh, you're going on a long old drive. Hey, do you, when you're doing a YouTube channel, do things ever go wrong? Like, super wrong? Like, oh, I don't know, you have to re-record something? I don't, it's like you're reading my mind. Yes, yeah, occasionally things do go wrong. And I've had that this week as we go over the level crossing. Excellent, blah. Excellent. Oh, and by the way, it looks fast on the video. We're doing about 40 miles an hour. I think this road is a 60. We're keeping it way below the speed limit. It's like, you're going so fast. No, it's because you've got a massively wide lens and all the stuff at the side of the screen is moving very, very quickly. We usually cruise along at about 30. So there you go. But no, yeah, things going wrong. So yeah, so this week I had some things that went quite wrong with some of the videos. And before I went to Sweden, I had some things that went quite wrong with some of the videos. So why don't we talk about that, since we are on the road for a bit. I'm taking the back road to, we could have stopped, but thank you. Yeah, since we're taking the back road to Penzance, the front road, the main road, the A30, will be rammo with tourists at this time of year. So we've got to keep an eye on that. There's a car that way and a car this way. And give everyone plenty of time, because some of these people don't live around here and you don't want to get them confused. Yeah, the tourists are mostly on the beach at the moment, and the ones that aren't are on fire in the supermarché and all that sort of stuff. So yes. But yeah, before I went to Sweden, I did have some issues recording some videos. So what I wanted to do was record a bunch of videos, so for the week and a bit that I wouldn't be around, you guys would have something to watch. But what I couldn't do is record a bunch of Stranded Deep, or what were we doing at the time? We were doing Pirates at the time. I couldn't record a bunch of Pirates, mostly because I was still recording stuff. So if I pre-recorded a bunch of stuff, I would kind of make it difficult for myself. Because they're narrative. One's a narrative-driven game, and the other one's, well, it's not narrative-driven, but we've given it a narrative. So it would be that the videos would either appear out of order, or I would have to work harder, not smarter. So I was like, okay, I know. I'll record something that I haven't recorded before, and that way we will get a new. Oh, there's a tractor. I'm going to pull in a bit. We're going to get the BEPs, I bet. Yep, and turn that off. So, yeah, I was like, I'll record something that I haven't recorded before. Dude, let's get out of here. So I was like, oh, Mirror's Edge. It's a 2009 game. It's a parkour game, and I used a little clip of it in Stranded Deep. So there's a thing in Stranded Deep. If you're hearing these names and you don't know what they are, Stranded Deep is a survival game that I play on the channel. It is the longest running video series. It is the one that kind of predates the channel becoming Overdrive Theatre, and it is also the one that gets all of the enhancements first. So if I come across a new way of doing video, Stranded Deep is the one that picks it up first. Island survival game. And yeah, it's a good game. I got distracted by the tractor. But I used so there's this bit, we're on a custom island, so they're all desert islands, and we've got this custom island that we've made, and there's a Douglas Dakota up in the trees, and the tail of that is above a pool. So when I made the island, because I made the island in the map maker, I made sure that there was a deep enough pool beneath the tail of the aeroplane so that you could jump off and you'd be fine, because it's way up in the trees. And I was like, yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. But I think it was Drumbones commented, it was like, oh, I haven't seen you jump off the aeroplane in a while. And I'm like, oh baby, I'll jump off the aeroplane. Okay, I'm gonna go through here. Gets a bit narrow. I'm trying to give a story, and this narrow-ass road with so many cars on it, it's a little bit more tricky than it was last time. So yeah, it said jump off the thing. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna just jump off. What I'm gonna do is, do a little crash cut. So as soon as we hit the water, we crash cut into something else. And the first time it was into the mouth of a great white shark, just an in-game great white shark, but it was still something to be seen. And over time, I've changed it up. Currently, every time we jump into the water, it crash cuts to just 15 seconds of like a classic movie or a bit of anime or something. 15 seconds, YouTube seems to be okay with that. So I'm just like, yeah, no, that's fine. So yeah, we touch the water, we crash cut away, and then as soon as we come out of the water, we're back in the game. That's the way it works. And one of them I crash cut into a different game, and that was Mirror's Edge. So there's this parkour game from 2009, and I was like, okay, I'll tell you what, I will record a bunch of episodes, and I think between 6 and 8 episodes, and you guys get those 6 and 8 episodes, and then you will be okay for the time I'm away at Sweden. All right. So I started playing it, and the game was making me motion sick, like super motion sick. I was like, I do not feel okay. I feel really bad. And that was by the second episode that I'd recorded. And I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I played the game when it first came out. I played it all the way through, and it was really good. But this time I was just like, no, can't. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to go away and find something else to play. And that's how Alice Madness Returns came about. I just went on Steam and I was just like, what's going on? And Steam was like, we got a sale. Alice Madness Returns is on sale. I was like, oh baby, I've wanted to play that game for a while. Tell me it's not so. So I bought it. I hadn't really looked into it a lot. I kind of got the original Alice game and Clive Barker's Undying confused, because there's a lot of gameplay elements in the two games that are the same. So I picked this thing up, played it, got a few episodes recorded, went away, came back to do some more episodes, and the game wouldn't load. Just stayed on the loading screen forever. And I was like, what is going on? So I gave it a little look in the forums, and the forums were like, yeah, that's also quite an old game, and it doesn't like you running at a higher resolution than 1080. So I was like, bugger. All right, well, I'm running the game at 2K, so I'm running at 1440. You guys don't see 1440, you see 1080, because OBS converts it down to 1080, mostly just so I can save a bit of disk space and so I don't have to spend forever uploading. I think that's the two reasons for it. And there's no real reason why, because most people watch on their phones, why you need a 1440p image for most people. So the answer for that was just change the resolution down to 720, load the game. It kind of loads and then it crashes, and then restart the computer, and then once the computer's restarted, then you can change back up to 1440. Oh my god. So that, yeah, there are a lot of problems on the back end that you have to solve and work your way around. So that was Mirror's Edge that you didn't get. That was a long way of saying that. Mirror's Edge that you didn't get, and Alice Madness Returns, but you did get because I couldn't play Mirror's Edge because of motion sickness. Stop here. There we go. Yeah. This week I had some real issues this week. There was a Windows update, and the Windows update messed up the audio settings. I was like, where's my audio settings? What's going on? I recorded a perfect 3 games of War Thunder. So if you've never played War Thunder before, War Thunder is... Are we all getting through here? Yep, it gets really narrow there for some reason. War Thunder is a game where we drive around in tanks and shoot other people who are also driving around in tanks. That's the long and the short of it. The games are only usually about 10 minutes a piece, and so I recorded 3 games back to back on Thursday after the Windows update had happened, and it seemed fine. There were 3 perfect games, 3 really, really good games. Except what happened was, when I got into Premiere, there was no game audio. No game audio whatsoever. So I could hear the game in my headphones, but there was no game audio once I was in Premiere, and I was like, what is going on? Premiere is the editing software that I use. And I was like, what is going on? Turns out that I checked OBS, and OBS's sound card selection had been reset. OBS is the software I used to capture the game play footage. OBS had been reset to the default sound card, whatever that is. It could be literally one of 15 sound cards, because everything these days counts as one. The Oculus Rift, the VR headset, counts as a sound card. So I was like, bugger, that was so annoying, because you don't jump into War Thunder and get 3 perfect games, one after the other. That would have been just a perfect session. Usually something happens in the game, like your entire team goes to one point and then you lose because nobody's really working together. Or you do too well. We had one game where we just raffle stomped the enemy team, and it wouldn't have been a good session to watch because it was just over. There was nothing really to see. We went in and we just destroyed them, and eventually they just all sat in spawn and got annihilated. So I had to re-record that, which, as these videos come out, that was yesterday's video. That was a pain in my butt. But that happens every now and again after a Windows update. Windows will just change your sound settings for no reason. And it's not an obvious one because you can hear everything in your headphones. So, yeah, thanks Windows. It also changed, and I didn't know until I recorded the last Stranded Deep video, it also changed my audio, my vocal capture settings. So the game capture and the spoken audio capture are done separately. The game is captured in OBS, whereas the vocals are captured in Mumble. Mumble is not really an audio recorder. It's not really an audio recorder. What it is it's like TeamSpeak. It allows you to, it's like voice over IP basically. But it does have a really cool function or feature, and basically I love this village. I really do love this village. Basically, and these cottages, I've said it before. Basically Mumble allows you to record, and it allows you to record multi-channel. So if you've got more than one person, it allows you to record one file for each person, which means you can increase or decrease the volume of each person's audio. So if you've got someone shouting over everyone else, you can lower them down. But it also cuts out a lot of background noise. So it only records the frequency of the human voice. It gets rid of things like the fan noise from the computer, your neighbours shouting at each other. It gets rid of a lot of stuff that you would otherwise have on your captured audio. So I'm like, okay, cool. Get rid of all of that. But Mumble had also been changed to the default sound device, which is the monitor, because the monitor counts as a sound card. And therein lies a huge problem that a lot of people aren't going to know. You see, if you take footage, gameplay footage, and you drop it into Premiere, quite a lot of people will suffer audio-video sync issues, where your spoken audio is out of sync with your video, with your gameplay. And there are two reasons for that. One, VBR versus CBR. So variable bitrate video versus constant bitrate video. Premiere wants constant bitrate video. So if you're recording video at a variable bitrate, you're going to have audio-video sync issues. However, if you record a video with a constant bitrate, say 75 megabits, which is what I do, and you drop that into Premiere, but your audio sample rate between the video and the audio are different, you'll also get sync issues. What? Yeah, so the difference between 44,100 kilohertz and 48 kilohertz sample rate will cause significant audio sync issues. So that is an issue that you will have. And yes, I normally record at 48 kilohertz for everything. It's a little higher than the default settings of Windows, which are 44,100. So the gameplay video for Stranded Deep was recorded in 48 kilohertz, and the spoken audio was reset to default at 44,100, and then I got audio-video sync issues. How bad is that? Oh, well, let me explain. I had a bit of an issue when we were all recording as Wisp, back when the channel was new. The channel was new, and I was just like, nah, we're all Wisp. Everyone would be synced okay, except for James. James's audio was always out of sync. And what that looked like was everyone did a sound sync at the beginning. So you would just go 3, 2, 1 and either clap, or you would go through a menu. Normally what I do is I narrate myself going through a game menu, and I go 1, 2, 1, 2 as I'm going up and down the menu. And what I'm going to do is let this lad through, because they're kind of stuck. Right. I love this village, all the bunting and everything, it's great. Yeah, so everyone was at 48 kilohertz sample rate on their audio, and James was at 44,100. And what that meant is the start point of the video and everyone else's audio was the same. But as the audio and video progressed, James would start creeping forward in time to a point where if you didn't take out some of his blank spaces, some of his dead air, and sort of correct for time, what would happen is that he would be answering questions before they had even been asked. So that was actually fixed in a Mumble update, the 1.3 Mumble update. Mumble would then look at everyone's audio and then pad the audio tracks. So that doesn't happen anymore, except last week when Mumble itself was set to the wrong sample rate. And as I was doing stuff in game, it got to a point where I was doing stuff in game before I was narrating. No, I was narrating the stuff in game before I was doing it. That was the way around it was. So the vocals were ahead of the video. Wow. Yeah, you can get a lot of problems with YouTube, and sometimes you get days where you scrub entire recordings. Sometimes you get super upset because you scrubbed it not once but twice because there have been two separate issues affecting your videos. You have only yourself to blame, I guess. Normally before I do a recording, what I'll do is I'll set the audio, I'll turn the audio on, and I'll just say HMI module Alpha Humana on approach to space station Mercury. Anyone who's played a DOS game will probably know that audio sample. Anyone who hasn't played the DOS games will probably not know that audio sample, but it is actually a sound test, probably for AdLib, I think. HMI, I think, is human-machine interface. But that was the voice that you would have when you were checking your sound card. And I say that, and then I play it back just to make sure my microphone is actually working, because it's the only one you don't get a visual check on. I don't have a waveform when I'm recording. In fact, it's recorded, the audio is recorded on a laptop, and video is recorded on a desktop. And that way, the audio and video never meet, and I can have separate files and compress the audio and run Spitfish de-esser. So I get rid of the sharp sibilants out of the spoken audio, so you guys get a nice smooth audio to listen to. Except in the car, where I just compress it and then run an equalizer to remove everything below 80 kilohertz, and then it's just the top three sliders. So all of the bass and some of the top, just leaving the vocal range intact. It gets rid of the rumble from the car. Hi, just me from the future. There is one thing I remembered about YouTube which happens quite often, another problem that can cause issues when you're uploading videos. So when you upload a video, you upload your 1080 or 4K or whatever video you upload, and YouTube will go nom 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 as you send it through the wires to YouTube HQ. What they do then is they'll give you a low quality version, like a 360p version of the video. Even though you uploaded an HD version, they transcode it. They have to transcode it because your MP4 is not going to be viewable on all formats. So an iPhone is probably going to want, I don't know, AVID or some weird format that just everyone else doesn't use. So in order for everyone to have a good time viewing your videos, YouTube needs to transcode it into several different formats. One of the big problems though is that once it has given you your low quality 360p version, it then spends a long time converting the HD version. So you have already uploaded an HD version, but that doesn't matter. It has to make a low quality version, and then it has to make high quality versions in all different formats. That can take anywhere between 5 minutes and 5 hours. The longest I've had has been forever, where it's not actually bothered to do the HD version at all. Sometimes I've gone, oh no, what's happening, and uploaded another version of the same video in the hopes that it sort of moves things on. But yeah, sometimes, and I always upload about 6 o'clock in the evening, unless it's a weekend, in which case I can do it a little bit earlier. Yeah, 6 o'clock in the evening, usually a video is ready to go by at least 8 o'clock. So that means I can do all the website stuff, I can do all of the social media stuff, all the stuff that all the other channels have other people for. I can do all of that. But sometimes I'll be sitting around waiting for the HD version to be ready. And sometimes it's just not ready. You'll be there at midnight going, where's my video? Where is it? I know I uploaded it. So yeah, sometimes, some days you just don't get a video, and it's there, it exists, but YouTube just hasn't finished doing whatever YouTube needs to do to it. And I figure there might be a couple of reasons for that. Partly because the channel is kind of quite low on the pecking order, so if a lot of people are uploading and they've got a lot bigger channels than me, those people are probably going to get priority. That's the way I assume that it works. The other way that the big channels do it is they batch record a bunch of stuff, and what they'll do is they'll upload days in advance and then schedule it. So a lot of the big channels do that. Not all of them. I have noticed that a lot of the War Thunder channels that I watch, there was a patch last week which changed part of the UI, the user interface of the game. So War Thunder's a game. And what happened is, like, a day later, videos were coming out. So those people are obviously, that's like a one-person channel. Those people are recording, they're editing, they're doing exactly what I'm doing. But yeah, sometimes you don't get a video because YouTube hasn't finished messing around with it. Anyway, back to the past. Good, excellent. Well, we are now approaching Penzance. We haven't seen too many tourists, although the road is incredibly busy. It is a Sunday, after all, and the tourists are mostly out on the beach. The road around Gwydion is absolutely rammo. And this is the road we would normally take, and it is, again, absolutely rammo. I'm gonna go behind this bike, who is that's a German bike. Excellent, D for Deutschland. And he's getting a little confused over which side of the road he should be on. That's fine. I mean, he'll work it out eventually. One car will be going faster than the other. Yeah, tourists. We've only got another couple of weeks of tourist season, well, the school holidays, and then the kids will go back and it'll get a lot easier to move around. On the way back I will take the 830, but it is going to be slow going, like really slow going. So that's the reason we've been taking the long old back road, which it's a pretty route. I do like the pretty route, it's fine. We are going to need to go this way. Interestingly, according to the car's fuel economy, I've only done 6 miles. I'm pretty sure we've done a little bit more than 6 miles. I don't know how this car works. Some days it's like, fuel economy, it's terrible, but it's mostly because you've been sat in traffic. And some days it's like, I've just been sipping the ether. I haven't really been using fuel, I've just been using dreams, unicorn dreams. And I'm like, they're really hard to get hold of. Yes, well, it's what I use. I do like this car though. With the electric motor built into it, it is as close to riding a motorbike as you can get in terms of acceleration wise. So if you need to put your foot into the Axminster and go, it will go. Good, well, we're back where, oh God, I hate all these videos ending at Sainsbury's, but you know what? If you're going to go out driving, you may as well do 2 things at once. So recording a vlog and getting some food, you may as well. Makes sense. It's more efficient that way. So I'm going to leave you here. If you like this video, definitely leave a little like, leave a subscribe. I know this one was a little bit more technical, and a lot of people probably won't get the technical aspects, but I think the take-home message is sometimes stuff just doesn't work. And you have to be prepared to scrub an entire recording. I'm also worried that the fan has been blowing on the lav mic all this time, and I'm kind of like, is the audio for this even going to be okay? I don't know. Genuinely don't know. So yeah, if you like, leave a like because that helps the video. Subscribe if you haven't done already because that helps the channel. And I'll tell you what, I'll catch you next time.